All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest installment of Time Doctor's Customer Education Webinar Series No More Payroll Errors. We're excited to dive into a critical process that keeps every business running, and that's payroll. More importantly, how Time Doctor is transforming payroll management for distributed teams. So, today we'll highlight Time Doctor's advanced payroll features and we'll review the updates we've made to help you overcome common challenges that most companies face with payroll. As an added bonus, we're thrilled to announce our newest partnership with Deal, a leader in the global HR space. Now, by the end of this session, you'll see how Time Doctor's payroll solutions can help simplify and enhance your processes, and how how pairing Deal with Time Doctor can take your payroll workflow to the next level by reducing errors and ensuring smooth operations. So let's get started. My name is Antonio, and I'm the Global Director of Customer Success and Support here at Time Doctor. I'm joined today by my co-host and one of our rockstar CSMs, Calvin Gopal. Calvin, are you ready to get things rolling?
Definitely, Antonio. Super excited about this one. It's one of the ones that I've been looking to for a while. So yeah, let's get moving. Let's get moving.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, Calvin, we got another great one lined up this month. Why don't you share more about what's in store for us today?
Fantastic. Thank you once again, and welcome everybody. So we've just covered the intro. We've introduced who we are and what we're doing today. But here's a couple of things that you can look forward to throughout the rest of the webinar. We're going to speak payroll. We're going to speak about the challenges with your payroll process, and obviously what we can do to help you solve it. Right? How we as Time Doctor can support that process. Then we're also going to give you some updates on the Time Doctor feature. There's been some great updates that have come up in the last couple of months, and we want to share that with you today. And then lastly, as Antonio mentioned, we've got an integration with Deal. So we'll talk into that and give you some detail around what that looks like, what it means, and how it could offer something different for you and your teams as you move forward. And then lastly, there'll be some time where we'll dive into some of your questions. As always, we'll cover that towards the end. So please feel free. Great segue for me is to please feel free to ask your questions in real time. You'll see the Q&A button. It's either to the right of your panel or sometimes it's just below. So please use that and we can address some of them towards the end. You would have noticed by now, and if you're a regular to our webinars, all of your mics are muted, and this is by default. It's not a mistake. This is just to make sure we don't get any distractions as we're trying to get through the detail. And lastly, we will be sharing this recording in the next 24 to 48 hours. You'll receive a copy of this. So if you miss any detail throughout the session, please know that you are not missing out anything because you'll be able to go and watch that on demand. So that's it from me. I'm going to kick it back to you, Antonio, to take us through the first section.
All right. So let's kick it off with just some of the challenges we've heard from our customers on payroll specifically. All right. So managing payroll is one of the most essential parts of running a business, but let's be honest, it's not exactly a walk in the park. Over the years, I've worked with hundreds of Time Doctor customers and heard all about the headaches they face when it comes to payroll. And we've gained some valuable insights regarding these challenges. And today, we're going to highlight some of the most common payroll challenges and explore solutions that can help address them effectively. So the first one's everybody's favorite subject, right? Compliance. Excuse me. So, regulatory compliance. Tax laws and labor regulations, they seem to change faster than the weather, and keeping up can feel like a full-time job. If you're missing something, that could mean fines, penalties, and even reputational damage. And for global companies, complexity just skyrockets. Different countries, different rules, it's enough to make your head spin. And it's a setup for failure if you're not doing this right. So staying ahead requires robust processes and tools that help simplify compliance and adapt to new regulations. Now, for companies with teams spread across the globe, payroll often means wrangling multiple payment systems, currencies, and time zones. Getting everyone paid on time while maintaining compliance can feel like solving a massive puzzle. That's why having a system that works seamlessly with global payment processors is a game changer. It makes the whole process so much smoother and more reliable. Now, payroll mistakes aren't just inconvenient. They can cause major issues, from employee records and salary benefits to tax information. Errors can have a massive repercussions. So, protecting sensitive information and ensuring everything is accurate isn't just about following the rules, it's also about earning and keeping your employees' trust. Nobody likes waiting to get paid, right? And for companies, paying employees on time, it just isn't important, it's a non negotiable. This is especially true for industries like outsourcing, where delays can hurt employee and client relationships. Seamlessly integrating payroll systems with HR applications, accounting, and time tracking tools is vital to ensuring accuracy and dependability. Efficient processes would not only avoid payroll delays, but it also just reinforces trust and reliability within the organization. So, we've talked about some challenges. Now, let's talk about some strategies to overcome those challenges. Number one, automation is a game changer for payroll management. By streamlining repetitive tasks, it significantly reduces the risk of human error and ensures data accuracy and timely payments. With tools like Time Doctor, companies can automate key functions such as time tracking, payroll calculations, and seamless integrations with payroll systems, enabling them to manage payroll efficiently and effectively, even at scale. Regular audits are also essential for ensuring compliance and maintaining data integrity. They help identify discrepancies early, ensuring that payments align with company policies and regulatory requirements. Additionally, conducting frequent checks on data accuracy is crucial, mainly when dealing with sensitive information such as employee compensation. So, proactive auditing not only mitigates risks, but it also strengthens trust and accountability within your whole payroll process. Now, the great news is, since all of you on this webinar are Time Doctor customers, Time Doctor can help make your life easier by providing both of these an automated solution for time tracking and email notifications and alerts for regular audits. So, to quickly recap, we've discussed some of the most common payroll challenges, shared practical strategies to help address them. Now, I'd like to hand it back to Calvin, who will dive deeper into Time Doctor solutions that can help simplify your entire payroll process.
Awesome. Thanks, Antonio. Thank you for sharing that. And like you mentioned, I'm going to dive deep, go into the dashboard to show everybody here exactly how this thing looks and what you can do with it in case you're unsure. But before I get to that, I want to cover just that top section is who can access payroll. Now, it's important to note that as an owner, only the owners of the account can enable payroll. Okay. Once it's enabled, it will then become a tab that you'll be able to see on the dashboard. Now, once that's been done, owners and only owners have the rights to grant anybody else access. That is, regardless of their user level. So anybody can have access to the payroll page, and this can be done via the company settings page. If you just look under the configuration, you'll be able to set that. Now, quick one to note, which might be obvious, but some people might not know this. The payroll feature is not available for silent companies. So if there's any of you on the call here that are running the silent deployment on your company computers, it is not available for you right now, right? And this, like I mentioned, can all be done via the company settings page. That's where you will enable it. That's where you'll give access rights to everybody. Now, the second section, which is setting up the payroll, this is where I'm going to dive in and show you a little bit deeper of exactly what you would need to do to get started. So let's just have a look. It's going to pull up the payroll page here on this demo account, and we'll take a quick walkthrough. So one of the first things that you'll notice on the top of the screen is that you can select users, or you can select individuals, or you can select specific groups. So in most cases, if you want to pay a specific group, you can do that. But a lot of the time, you're generally paying everybody at the same time. Then if you skip right across, you can see the different ranges that you can do it. So you can either have it as a week, as a month, or you could even choose a specific date range. Once that's been set, you are then able to go down and look at the different payment methods or export functions. Excuse me. Over here, you'll find the different export integrations that we have, such as Gusto, Payoneer, PayPal, and Wise. We also have a direct integration with Deal, like we mentioned in the beginning, and we'll talk to that in a second. Once you've established which ones of these you'll be using and you've toggled them on, you can then move back to the direct page and work from there. What you'll see on the page is obviously total hours. So that's the hours that your users worked, total paid time, manual time if there's any that needs to be added, and then you'll see the adjustment amount. Now, what's important here, ladies and gentlemen, is you'll always see this icon, which means there's more to tell you. So the adjustment amount is just for, things like paid holidays, or if you work normally a weekday and someone works on a weekend and you want to adjust that into the payment, you can do that in the adjustment amount. Okay. Once that's been set, you'll set your hourly rate depending on your user level. And obviously this can be different for different users. And now we get to the other section where this has been an addition, and I'll explain it and we'll touch on it and go a little bit deeper a bit later. So you can set an hourly limit. So, for example, if you are paying your users on a monthly basis, you can set an hourly limit. On average, a month of work would be around 180 hours. That means that's the maximum amount of hours that can be paid, and you have set this to per period because you're talking about that specific period. If we take it to the next one down, we've set it to per weekday. So in this instance, we're looking at it from the weekdays for that period that you've selected. So whether you've selected a week, you've selected a month, or you've selected a quarter, this payment range would only be based on weekdays, so Monday to Friday. And then you can set that hourly limit to, for example, 8 hours per weekday. Then below that, we have per day. All right. So per day means all days. Okay, so it's not exclusive just to the weekdays. It also includes weekends. So again, if you have a company where you have users that work on weekends in that particular payroll period, you'll be able to set that and also set the limit. Per workday, kind of similar to per weekday, in that it obviously doesn't include the weekends and it just focuses on the workday period. Again, dependent on the range that you've selected at the top here, this will then apply. Okay, you can also disable this if it's not something that you're concerned with. You don't want to put any limits on anything, or you don't want to limit the range. You can obviously have that as disabled. Once you have set these, you can then choose the currency. We have a couple of currency options that you can choose. So by clicking on this button, you'll be able to pick a particular currency that you want to use, and then obviously save all of that, and the totals will then begin to apply. One thing to mention is that when you've done it the first time, it will continue to be the same for the next pay period. So this is something that you set once and it stays applicable there. If you need to make any changes in the next payroll period, or the hourly rate changes or anything of that sort, you can just come and click on the pencil icon and you'll be able to make those adjustments. At the top, if you're looking to set up your payroll via an import, to make things a little bit simpler for yourself, you can click on the Setup Payroll via Import button. And what that does is it gives you a CSV template that you can download, fill out the information that you need to fill out, then bring it back here, upload that CSV, and click Import. And that will fill up everything that you need in the particular sections that is required. That's all you would need to do, because the CSV export has particular areas and helps you fill that out a little bit easier. Down below, these are things that Antonio will touch on in a little bit detail, but I'd like to mention you also have the option to export the CSV, and also have the option to have an export summary. So what that does is it gives you a summary of what you've done, what you've exported, what it looks like. When you export the CSV, you'll be able to export it according to the payment methods. So if you have more than one payment method, like we see up here, then what will happen is that export of that CSV will come down in zip files, and each different payment method will be separate. So you'll be able to view it accordingly. And once that's done, like I said, you're done. You can then continue to use this and run with this as we go forward. Just a quick reminder, as this can sometimes be quite a difficult thing to visualize or put together. It's a lot of information. All you need to do is you can look at for this pencil icon on the screen, hover over it, and it will give you more detail with regards to that. And also, what you'll see at the top here is how payroll works. If you click on that, it will take you to a Help Center article where there's a video that you'll be able to see everything in real time as well. So that's it from me. Antonio, it's back to you so you can cover some other detail with our users.
Awesome. Very, very cool, Calvin. Great job providing that updated walkthrough. So I want to take a moment to highlight three recent updates to our payroll solutions that are pretty significant, and I don't want you to miss them. So the first one, you saw these during Calvin's great walkthrough, is the export summary view. So one recent update that he just showed you is the export summary, which is a feature that will help save time and improve efficiency by giving you a quick overview of what you export, allowing you to make any adjustments to payroll details before you finalize them. The second one that I want to make sure you don't miss is the hours limit update. So I want to call this out because this is designed to help address a common challenge that many clients face, and that's employees tracking time outside of their approved schedules. So this can lead to overpayments and complications in payroll management. With this update, you can now set custom limits on hours, whether daily, weekly, or by pay period, to ensure employees are not only paid for time worked within their approved shifts. It's a simple yet powerful way to streamline your processes and avoid any unnecessary costs. I did mention three, and I'm saving the best for last. And the third huge update I want to share here with you all today is that finally, and this is a big announcement for us, Time Doctors recently partnered with Deal, an industry leader in the global HR space. Now, this marks the first and only true integration for payroll with Time Doctor 2. We're thrilled about this partnership and the opportunity it provides to our customers to fully streamline their payroll workflow with this direct integration with Deal. So, a few things you should know about this integration. First, you need to have an active Deal account along with admin privileges to get started. This integration is for contractors that have a single pay-as-you-go contract in Deal. Further, contractors need to have the same email address in both Deal and Time Doctor. And lastly, this integration will work for contractors that are paid hourly. Now, once you've met that criteria, you can use the direct integration to sync payroll hours seamlessly from Time Doctor to Deal. Then you can manage that payroll data from Deal's payroll page, and it's as simple as that. This integration will save you time, ensure accuracy and compliance, and it will undoubtedly streamline your payroll process to bring you closer to that happy place of no more payroll errors. And as a special announcement for those of you joining us today, we're excited to share that we'll be hosting a live Time Doctor and Deal webinar in January 2025, where we'll dive deeper into Time Doctor and Deal integration. So if you have Deal now, or you're thinking about getting Deal, you won't want to miss that one. And that takes us to our question and answer session. So I think we have some questions that came in throughout the webinar. So let's go ahead and tee some up and see what we have. And if you don't have any that you've already submitted, you can try to submit them now and we'll try our best to answer them.
Yeah, awesome, fantastic. I see there's one so far that we've seen that we can have a look at, and I think there'll be some others that will come through.
Okay.
The question is, what payment methods are available? So, as as we mentioned, and I think this is almost like a twofold question or twofold answer. We've got the payment methods or the export methods. We spoke about Gusto, Payoneer, Wise, PayPal, as well as you can export it via ADP. And like Antonio just mentioned, if you have Deal, you can integrate Deal directly with Time Doctor. So the other part is maybe you're asking like what type of currencies or what currencies you can upload this in. You can go and have a look definitely on the payroll page, and we'll see the different currencies that we support, and you can add that in. If a currency that you want to pay your employees in doesn't exist, then that's something that we could possibly look at in the future. But at the moment, it's restricted to quite a number of those currencies. Okay. And then the second question is, do I need work schedules to be able to be set up payroll? So great question, right? Not necessarily. Okay. It doesn't necessarily work hand in hand with the work schedules feature. Sometimes it's great to have both, but as you saw, it's about uploading these users and setting up the different limits as you would. So it's not necessarily works hand in hand with the two. So like Antonio mentioned, or like I also mentioned, when you're talking about setting up the limits, so you can set the hourly limit. So if you do not have work schedule set up and you want to stop paying people for overtime when they're not supposed to take overtime, that's the reason why the different hourly limits and different setups have been created. But to directly answer your question, you don't need the work schedules to be set up to be able to use payroll. Let's see if there's any other. Can I adjust time for my employees? I don't know if you want to take this one on, Antonio. The question is, can I adjust time for my employees?
Yes, I'll take that one, Calvin. Great question. In fact, there's a few different ways you can adjust time for your employees. If employees' times are missing, they can submit a manual request to edit that time, which you can approve, or you can make those manual adjustments after you review the time doctor data and you find some discrepancies. You can also schedule alerts, email alerts, and notifications to let you know when someone is either working outside their actual shift or working too many hours or has submitted manual time. There's a ton of information directly in the Time Doctor console that you can either view as you're going through your payroll process or schedule these alerts for. So you can definitely make those adjustments if you find there's any inaccuracies before you go a step further and either import that to your payroll or use the integration. But great question.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. We may have more coming in, and what we typically do is we'll try to reach out and answer any ones that do come in afterwards. So with that, that's going to wrap up our Q&A. And a couple final announcements I want to make. I want to make sure everyone's aware. And first of all, thank you all for joining us because this is something that we enjoy doing. We have a monthly customer education webinar series, and we'll soon be communicating what the next topic is going to be. If you have suggestions for that topic, what we typically do is send a post-webinar survey, and we'd love to hear from you on any topics you'd like to hear about. But we get topics based on our customer conversations, our customer feedback, and the common challenges and problems that our team's helping customers solve with Time Doctor. So please be on the lookout for the survey and the announcement of the next webinar. And don't forget, we shared a lot of great information today. We want to make sure you also stay tuned for the Deal Time Doctor integration in January, especially if you have Deal now or you're thinking about getting it. Trust me, it'll help streamline your entire payroll workflow and give you a more robust solution than you have today. So, with that in mind, I want to thank you all once again for joining us. I want to thank Calvin for joining us and doing an awesome demo and walkthrough, Calvin. It's always a pleasure doing this with you. But yeah, that's a wrap for today, guys. Thank you so much, and we hope to hear from you soon. Take care.